Друзья, всем привет! Пришло время обновлять ваши плейлисты. Сегодня мы хотим рассказать вам о немецкой электро-хаус группе Digitalism. Ребята вот уже который год успешно гастролируют по всему миру, в том числе и по России, а их треки периодически включают в очень известные видеоигры. Давайте познакомимся с ними поближе.
Yeah, no, but the last time we were here was it was 3 years now.
2016?
Yeah, 3 years.
Yes,
oh,
3 years.
I wanted to say 2 years ago, but
Yeah.
it feels like just last year, and it was really good. Yeah, it's time to come back.
Actually, you know what? At the beginning, I wouldn't describe it as a difficulties because there was a certain flow because we created music because we missed some weapons in our DJ sets, and that was the reason why we produced music because everything was the same, and we just said we want to do something else instead playing the same records what other people are playing, and. That was the beginning, actually. And then we looked.
But oh no, we had one difficulty, and there was no money.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So of course, everyone starting to do music or something, no money, and that's why we ended up with our studio in a World War II bunker, which is very ugly, but it was cheap.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, guess where I worked? I worked at a record shop. And that's where I met Izi, because he came every day, and we used to hang out there. You know, it was a shop for DJs, and they come there every week to get the stuff for the weekend. And
almost like this.
Yeah.
A lot of vinyls, but it was specialized for house and,
and techno.
And techno.
And it was good for networking, and they had a couch, you can practice, and it was really, really nice.
2005?
Yeah, I was even going to university and did the afternoon thing at the record shop, you know, just like a bit of cash. So it wasn't a big deal stopping that because it was only a few hours or something. But university, yeah, I think 2004, 5, something like that. No advice because everything we've done, or anything you're doing in your life, is very important for gaining experience and for learning. You know, if someone gives you a secret tip from the future or something, then you don't see the whole thing, and you don't know how to deal with the problem, for example. So I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't give myself or young Izi or something any advice. I think you need to do everything. You know, that's the thing. It sounds a bit, yeah, but
I totally agree on this because if you're giving now a younger Izi or Jens an advice, then something else will happen. You know, and this is the interesting part about as well, like all Hollywood movies. You're trying to change something in the past, but something else will happen in the future.
But it's a bit like cheating, like you do the homework for someone else and they give it to their teacher or something, you know. They didn't have to think, they don't know what's going on.
Maybe Jens will be a big lawyer in a big company, you know. You never know.
Well, a lot of soundtracks. I mean, our music's very soundtracky, and we grew up with video games and their soundtracks, and you know, old Steven Spielberg and all those films. And there was so much cool stuff. And there's a lot of good Hollywood composers, especially Ennio Morricone is really cool. And then. Yeah, and then we used to listen to a show, a weekly radio show in Hamburg, where we're from, in the 90s, and they played all the dance records. And when we were kids, we thought, wow, what is this? but we don't understand, but it's really cool. And then a few years later, we were selling the records, and then we thought, oh, okay, we can as well, let's go to clubs and start DJing, you know.
But there's a really interesting point because me and Jens didn't know each other like I was 17 or 18 and then I met Jens. Or I was even older. But we listened to the same radio station, but we didn't know each other, so that was kind of funny. And both of us recorded all the tracks on tapes. Nobody knows.
Yeah, they
days
had
what a
really,
tape
really
is,
good
yeah.
shows on. Yeah, it was really good.
And then, for example, I had no budget for vinyl players or CDJs. So what I did was having 2 tape decks and DJed with it and put all the things together. So the thing is like you don't have budget, but you're getting creative. What is really interesting, what we like as well, because when people know with what kind of computer we produced our first album, actually everyone will start to laugh.
Yeah. When something's very limited, then you get really creative. For example, imagine you have to play a show with only 2 songs, then you use every single bit and you kind of freestyle so much that after 2 hours you only use 2 songs, but it's been a great show. There's nothing else you can do, you know. You have to, for example, you know, when there's no computer, I don't know. When it's very limited, like in our bunker, there's no windows or anything, so you have to create stuff, you know. Otherwise, it's very dark. Yeah.
Oh, we're generalists, I would say, and that's the secret about us, because we are not like a certain genre where you can put us. We like so many styles, and this is representing our music as well, because it's loud, it's colorful, and it's the same with genres, because this is what we like. We don't like doing monotone stuff. We don't like doing only house or techno. It's like we need this different kind of mixture things.
Yeah, but I mean, first of all, it's electronic. That's why we call digitalism. We started making music on a computer, but then also we add indie and rock stuff, and but we come from an electronic background. That's the base. The headphones, interesting. We used to come with an old kind of, we call it the Elvis microphone, a Shure SH55. That's tech talk now. So the problem is that it gets it picks up signal from everywhere, and it's always feedback, and it's very hard to like get it right. And we tried out some other things. At the minute, it's still Shure. It's an SM57. They use it usually to record snare drums and stuff. But the good thing is that it's really, there's no feedback. And
She's talking about headphones.
Oh, headphones! I thought microphones. Sorry. I was like, I thought, you can cut that out. Sorry, headphones. Yeah, I understood. That's why I thought, why are we talking about microphones?
Jens is using HD from Jens is using HDs 25 from
Sennheiser. Yes, I use Sennheisers. I use them, I think, for 15 years already. For DJing and for at the minute I need some for our live show as well. The good thing is that you can replace all the parts, and when something breaks, you just get a new cable or something. It's because it's made out of a lot of pieces. And you use...
I'm using Technics. Old ones. I started with them, and they have like the certain sound in it, and if you're getting something like, if you're getting used to it, that's like, you don't want to change. Of course, there's definitely better ones outside, but it's a really good one for DJing, because you can play around with the...
You get used to your headphones. That's why I don't know if I want to change to other ones or something, because I'm so used to them. But also, we don't use headphones to produce in the studio. Only at the end, when we finish the mix, just to check the very low bass stuff. Then I just use my Sennheisers, but we don't have mega hi-fi headphones or something for the studio, for example. I like to just like have the real sound.
Oh, actually, like I'm not listening that much on albums on vinyl. Like if I listen to soundtracks, then what I do like at the minute is like some African mixed with some Portugal bootlegs or Brazilian bootlegs. It's like random producers. You don't know. They do it and it sounds amazing because they have this soundtrack vibe in it. Like there's one from Portugal called Estrella One, but you don't know the artist. So, you know, you can't do anything with it. It's so unfair, but I would choose one of ours. It's a really good question, and it's hard to find an album where you have different genres on, and this is what I like. You know, if I'm, for example, if I'm taking a David Bowie album with me, what is really good, and have a lot of impact, but it's not reflecting what I want to love to listen as well, because you're missing some stuff. You know, you're missing the bridge of the sounds, because it's like most of the time is, of course, you have slow and fast tracks, but it's still one genre, and it's, I don't see an album.
Maybe like a compilation, like best of 1980 something, or you know. That's just a joke. I don't know, but that's the problem. It might be easier with like a collection vinyl or something. Yeah.
I understand.
But then, you know, like NASA, they sent like a gold vinyl into space with Voyager in the 70s, with some like sounds from humans and some classical music and everything, a bit of everything. So maybe before we go to space, we can quickly make a vinyl with like a lot of stuff that needs to be on there or something before we take it with us.
We know only one guy here, that's Proxy.
Yeah, he's always did. It used to be my look-alike twin or something.
Yeah, look-alike twin. But
it was funny, like 10.
In general, I know that you have a big producer, like a big scene here. Actually, if you're talking about techno.
Yeah, a lot of virus stuff.
Yeah. Wait, what was his name? Oh, just give me several minutes. Alexano? No, was it Alexano? I'm not getting the name, but yeah, the scene is big. I wouldn't compare, because you know German start was techno, like, and of course, like, it's always differently in every country, because let's say with the export of cars, for example, in Germany, they are really big with it. So it's hard for another country to compete with it, but it's differently, and I wouldn't compete like at all, because I guess still that all of these countries from other worlds can learn from other ones how to create something.
Yeah, and make their own thing.
Exactly.
That came about because we started making music on a computer, so in a digital way, and it's not linked to there's an art school as well called digitalism. It's like a type of art, and then there's now people who talk about the internet and disruptive stuff. That's all digitalism as well. That's not why we chose the name. We had to choose it. It was the first thing that came to mind when we had to write something on a CD or something. And that time we were fans of a series on a French label called Africanism, and that was all like tropical beats, African beats, like house music, and it was really cool. And then so we just wrote down digitalism, and then excuse me, a few months, years later, we're still using that word. Everyone's like, that's a really cool name. How did you come up with it? I don't know. It was just like. Well, I mean, you always have different favorites and stuff, but recently like last year when we released, there was one track called Holograms. I thought, wow, that's because we wrote it in just a few days, and it was something completely like it was really fresh for what we were doing in the studio the other days before then, and it felt very magical. I don't know, I still get that feeling when I listen to that track now. Doesn't mean that it's the best we've ever done, but I think that's a good candidate, maybe, if I think about it.
It's a hard question. It's
Yeah.
again a mood question, you know. It's like,
Exactly.
how do you feel? And like,
Yeah, if you ask again later, it might be something different.
yeah, like 2 hours later, like, maybe I would say as well, like, from the first album, Starlight, because we didn't realize what we create, and it was like kind of a crossover track. What almost every DJ played. It doesn't matter if you've been a French house DJ or let's say a techno DJ. They played this record, and yeah, that was like. Yes, we're just working on the third album. And
The fourth. Yeah, we got it the other day. We're like, it's album 3, 4? What
no,
was
it's
it
4.
again?
Yeah, we're working on album number 4. Sorry. So.
Okay, we will wait for it, for sure.
Thank you.
Now you know everything about microphones.
Yeah.